Welcome back to Switch Game List. Today we're diving into the most visually striking games you can play on your Switch in 2025. These aren't just pretty pixels, each one brings something unique to the table. Let's get into it. Ni no Kuni starts our list with a collaboration that brought Studio Ghibli's magic into gaming. You play as Oliver, a kid who travels between worlds to save his mother. The game brings hand-drawn animations to life in ways that make you forget you're playing on a portable console. While the combat system takes time to get used to, and some side quests feel like busy work, the world of Ni no Kuni pulls you in with its charm and keeps you hooked with its emotional story.
俺らだけの力やったらな。だからお前はここに来たんや。お前やったらジャボを倒せるかもしれん。
僕がジャボを。
ああ。お前は透き通った心の持ち主や。透き通った心は闇の魔法を打ち消すっちゅういい。
Octopath Traveler II proves that sometimes the best innovations come from looking back. The game uses HD2D graphics, a mix of retro sprites and modern lighting effects. You follow 8 different characters, each with their own story, as they cross paths in a world that feels alive. The battle system hits the sweet spot between challenging and rewarding. The game improves on its predecessor with better character interaction and more engaging side quests, though the separate storylines can still feel disconnected at times.
You know who I am. I'm a captain, appointed by Lord Mugen himself.
The wars have been over for years. That armor won't earn you any special treatment around here.
Xenoblade Chronicles 3 takes place in a world where people live just 10 years, spending their short lives fighting in an endless war. The game's vast landscapes stretch far into the horizon, with massive mechanical structures piercing the clouds. The environments tell stories of ancient civilizations and failed wars. Combat flows like a well-orchestrated symphony once you get the hang of it, though the early hours can overwhelm new players with mechanics. The game tackles heavy themes about life, death, and purpose.
You guys talking about the battle? Don't worry about the bonus points, because I'll have nabbed them all.
The snuff you on about? I'll have you know I clocked up a fair bit more.
Oh yeah, sure.
Gris stands out by turning grief into art. You control a young woman who's lost her voice, navigating through a world that changes as she processes her emotions. The watercolor art style shifts and flows with your movement, creating moments that belong in an art gallery. There's no combat or game over screens, just pure artistic expression through platforming. While the game only lasts about 4 hours, each minute feels carefully crafted to deliver its message about healing and hope. Luigi's Mansion 3 turns every floor of a haunted hotel into a playground of possibilities. The game shows off what the Switch can do with realistic lighting, reflections, and physics-based gameplay. Each floor has its own theme, from a movie studio to a botanical garden, packed with details that bring the world to life. The vacuum-based ghost hunting creates fun, puzzle-solving moments and satisfying combat encounters. The level design encourages exploration, though some boss fights drag on longer than necessary. Ori and the Will of the Wisps showcases what happens when you mix precise platforming with breathtaking artistry. The game follows Ori searching for a lost friend in a forest consumed by darkness. Every frame looks like a painting in motion, with lighting effects that create atmosphere you can feel. The movement system lets you chain together jumps, dashes, and grapples with the precision of a dance. The combat adds depth to the platforming without overshadowing it. While the game can run into occasional frame drops in busy scenes, the overall experience remains smooth. Tears of the Kingdom takes Breath of the Wild's foundation and builds a whole new world above and below it. Link's adventure spans 3 vertical layers of Hyrule, each with its own visual identity. The game adds building mechanics that let players create everything from simple rafts to complex machines. The Sky Islands feature ancient technology mixed with traditional Zelda architecture, while the depths hide a darker, more mysterious version of Hyrule. The creative freedom can feel overwhelming at first, but discovering new ways to solve problems keeps the game fresh for hundreds of hours. Hey, quick pause here. If you're enjoying this look at some of Switch's finest games, hit that subscribe button for more content like this. Let me know in the comments which of these games you've played or are excited to try. Now, let's continue with our lineup. Bayonetta 3 cranks up the spectacle to 11 with dimension-hopping combat that never slows down. You control the Umbra Witch across multiple realities, each with its own visual style. The game introduces demon summons that change the scale of battles from personal duels to kaiju-sized throwdowns. Visual effects fill the screen with color and chaos while maintaining readability in combat. Frame rate stays stable during fights but can dip during some cutscenes. The story takes wild swings that might lose players who haven't followed the series, but the combat remains satisfying regardless. Dragon Quest XI's brings traditional JRPG storytelling to life with vibrant, cel-shaded graphics. The game follows a hero who discovers he's the reincarnation of a legendary warrior. The world feels like a classic anime come to life, with expressive characters and detailed towns that each tell their own story. The turn-based combat keeps things simple but strategic, while the character progression gives you meaningful choices. The orchestral soundtrack adds grandeur to every scene. Some might find the traditional JRPG structure too familiar, but the execution elevates the classic formula.
It's more monsters! Watch out!
Doom Eternal proves the Switch can handle intense first-person action with the right optimizations. The game maintains its core identity as a fast-paced demon-slaying simulator while making smart visual compromises. Textures and resolution take hits to keep the frame rate steady during combat. The combat puzzle gameplay loop forces you to constantly move and switch weapons to survive. Each arena becomes a blood-soaked dance floor where standing still means death. While it doesn't match the visual quality of other platforms, the port captures the essential Doom experience. Animal Crossing: New Horizons creates a peaceful escape through careful attention to detail. The game's seemingly simple visuals hide sophisticated lighting and weather systems that make each island feel alive. Shadows stretch across the ground as the day progresses, while rain leaves puddles that slowly evaporate. The character models express personality through subtle animations, from the way villagers zoom around with toy airplanes to how they inspect items in the museum. The pace can feel slow for players seeking more action, but the gradual island development provides long-term satisfaction. Astral Chain sets itself apart with a unique visual style that blends anime aesthetics with sci-fi noir. You play as a police officer who controls a living weapon called a legion, creating combat scenarios that look like choreographed partner dances. The neon-lit city environments reflect off rain-slicked streets, while dimensional rifts tear through reality. The investigation segments let you appreciate the world's details at a slower pace. Learning to control both your character and legion simultaneously has a steep learning curve, but mastering the system delivers unique gameplay moments. Sparks of Hope combines Mario's colorful world with tactical combat in unexpected ways. The game builds on Kingdom Battle's foundation with more dynamic battles that blend movement and positioning. Each world has its own visual theme, from snow-covered mountains to desert ruins, all rendered with attention to lighting and particle effects. The tactical gameplay gets complex enough to satisfy strategy fans while remaining accessible through clear visual feedback. Character abilities create light shows of effects that remain readable even in chaotic battles. The story takes itself less seriously than typical tactical games, landing jokes more often than not. Super Mario Odyssey shows off the joy of discovery through constant visual rewards. Mario's journey takes him through kingdoms that range from a realistic city to a food-based world made of actual ingredients. The capture mechanic transforms Mario into various creatures and objects, each with unique animations that add personality. The game maintains a solid frame rate while filling the screen with interactive elements and collectibles. Some kingdoms pack more interesting mechanics than others, but the core movement system makes even basic exploration fun. Metroid Dread closes our list by proving 2.5D graphics can create atmosphere as effectively as any 3D game. Samus explores a planet where robotic hunters stalk her through interconnected zones. The environments use dynamic lighting and particle effects to build tension, while the EMI robots move with unsettling mechanical precision. The smooth animation system makes Samus feel powerful while keeping controls responsive. Counter mechanics create exciting moments but can feel mandatory in some boss fights. Hey, let me know what you think about these games. Maybe you've played some and have a different take, or maybe something here caught your eye. Drop a comment, let's chat about it. See you in the next one.